The following footage are graphic reenactments of the Raccoon City incidents as told to us by the survivors. Viewer discretion is advised.
It all began as an ordinary day in September, an ordinary day in Raccoon City, a city controlled by Umbrella. No one dared to oppose them, and that lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction. I suppose they had to suffer the consequences of their actions, but there would be no forgiveness. If only they had had the courage to fight. It's true that once the wheels of justice begin to turn, nothing can stop them. Nothing. It was Raccoon City's last chance, and my last chance. My last escape.
This is Chopper Delta, preparing to drop off at area E95072. Over. What are they?
September 28th, daylight. The monsters have overtaken the city. Somehow, I'm still alive.
Those were the first words spoken to us when we opened Case 3 by our leading witness, Jill Valentine.
Jill starts her last day as a STARS officer very differently than she has before. Today, she has to fight her way out of her own apartment building.
And finds her way into a seemingly abandoned warehouse where she finds a terrified man.
I just lost my daughter out there! How dare you tell me to go back outside?
I'm sorry about your daughter, but there isn't gonna be any rescue. We have to get out of here.
No! I'm not going anywhere! I'd rather starve to death in here than be eaten by one of those undead monsters! Now leave me alone! I just...
Running through back alleys, Officer Valentine runs into former teammate Officer Vickers, the pilot from Case 001.
Get away!
Once again, Miss Valentine finds herself in the back alleys fighting for her way to the RPD. Once at the RPD, Miss Valentine runs into a mortally wounded Brad Vickers and finds a new threat that is obsessed with chasing down the STARS members.
Once inside the RPD, Officer Valentine finds it abandoned by humanity and finds one of her former officer friends unconscious, Officer Brannigan from Case 002.
Inside the RPD, Miss Valentine finds a missing gem that'll be useful later in the case.
As Officer Valentine investigates the RPD, she runs into a monster known as Nemesis. After fighting it off, she again finds herself in the back alleys of Raccoon City. As Officer Valentine runs through the back alleys of Raccoon City, she comes across an unfamiliar face, a mercenary that works for the Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service, or UBCS for short.
In this journal, it states that UBCS is tasked with handling corporate terrorist VIP abductions and dealing with illegal products.
Jill then comes across a restaurant where she investigates.
My name's Carlos. Corporal of Umbrella's Biohazard Countermeasure Force. What's your name?
Jill, did you just say you belong to Umbrella's army?
Yeah, we came all the way out here to save you civilians, but the mission went bad the minute we landed.
Wait, how did he find me?
But this meeting was cut short by another encounter of the Nemesis.
Over here!
Are you crazy? You could have barbecued both of us!
After the abrupt end of their conversation, Jill then goes out to the front of the restaurant to continue with Mr. Oliveira.
Miss Valentine again finds herself in the back alleys of Raccoon City, where she finds out that the Nemesis will not be stopped that easily. It chases Miss Valentine into a nearby news station.
As Officer Valentine progresses through the news station, she comes across another gem from the municipal center.
Once at the municipal center, Jill replaces the missing gems and gains access to the center. She finds herself traversing the back alleys of the municipal center, where she comes across a train yard.
As she continues exploring, she then again runs into her old friend, Nemesis. After fighting off Nemesis, she then escapes the news station and heads back to the municipal center.
Once at the municipal center, Jill replaces the missing gems and gains access to the center. She finds herself traversing the back alleys of the municipal center, where she comes across a train yard.
After activating the power to the train,
So,
she
Jill,
then
you
runs
decided to help
into
us out.
several other
It looks like we're the only ones
UBCS
who survived.
members.
We should work together.
No, we can't trust her.
Why? But Sergeant, we need her help. Our unit's down to you, me, and Lieutenant Mikhail. That's it. And Mikhail's hurt bad. If we don't cooperate, we won't be walking away from this mission.
Miss Valentine once again finds herself in the back alleys of the municipal center, where she stumbles across the gas station, where she finds the machine oil to get the train running again, and the gas station explodes.
After the explosion, Officer Valentine traverses the back alleys of Raccoon again. This time, she comes across a power plant. Inside, she searches for the missing fuse to get the train up and running. While in the power plant, she is attacked by a horde of zombies. Using her quick thinking, she gives them all a little shock.
After leaving the power plant, Miss Valentine once again finds herself in the back alleys. This time, she acquires a fire hose, put out the fire, and enter the Umbrella Pharmacy, where she hears Nikolai execute a UBCS mercenary.
What did you do?
I had no choice. He was about to turn into a zombie. It would have been a threat, so I eliminated it.
But he was still conscious, wasn't he?
He was as good as dead. And it took fewer bullets to kill him now than it would have if he had transformed.
Inside the building, she recovers the very last thing that she needs to get the train up and running. But the building is then attacked by yet another horde of the undead.
After Miss Valentine fights her way out of the building, she makes it back to the alley, where she starts heading towards the train once again. She's almost there when the ground starts to shake and then suddenly collapses below her.
After defeating the worm, she heads back to the train, puts in the missing parts, and gets it up and running again. Hopefully now, they can all escape alive.
After the train derails, Miss Valentine finds herself in the clock tower, where she re-encounters with Carlos.
Carlos, I don't believe it. You're alive.
I'm not sure how we're gonna get out of this town.
What are you talking about? We made it!
You don't get it. They have no intention of letting us make it back alive. Do you really think we can trust their great evacuation plan? Huh, it's just a piece of paper.
But we don't have any other choice than to trust them right now.
No, if we're gonna die, then we should get to choose when it happens.
So that's it then, huh? You're giving up?
No. I can't handle it.
Officer Valentine finds her way to the top of the clock tower so she can signal an escape, but yet again, she's interrupted by Nemesis. This time, she's got some shocking news of her own.
After the run-in with Nemesis, Miss Valentine continues exploring the clock tower, where she sets off the signal to the evacuation helicopter.
We're saved. Down here! It's finally over. Huh?
After her fight with Nemesis, she wakes up 3 days later with Mr. Oliveira by her side.
Carlos then goes looking for a cure. So naturally, he makes his way into the hospital. Upon exploring the hospital, he runs into a fellow UBCS mercenary.
Nikolai? You're still alive?
You saw what happened?
What's going on?
I'm one of the supervisors. That's all you need to know.
Wait!
After the death of a fellow merc, Mr. Oliveira synthesizes a cure for Jill. Once he gets to the main lobby of the hospital, he discovers somebody's trying to kill him.
Once back at the clock tower, Carlos is attacked by the Nemesis. After fighting out, Carlos gives Jill the vaccine
Once back on her feet, Officer Valentine again battles Nemesis.
and tells her the bad news is that Nikolai, as well as the Nemesis, are both still alive. Then states he has other business to attend to currently and heads off.
Once Officer Valentine is back on her feet, she runs into Nemesis yet again. Fighting him off, she then continues to find a way out of Raccoon. She deduces the best way to do so will be to go through the city park.
Once inside the park, Jill uncovers that Umbrella sent units in to study what the T-Virus is capable of and what guinea pigs can do against it.
Once through the park, she finds the graveyard, and in the graveyard she uncovers one of the biggest secrets that Umbrella was hoping to keep, and that is Nemesis' prime objective: kill any and all STARS members, and to destroy and dispose of any evidence linking Umbrella to their atrocious crimes.
After uncovering the information, Jill runs into Nikolai
Alive
again.
up until now.
And you seem to be doing a pretty good job of looking out for yourself. How about helping out?
I have no intention of helping you.
Because we're nothing but pawns in all this?
In a manner of speaking, you are. Our employers wanted a detailed analysis of the zombie beings which were created through infection by the T-Virus.
You're saying that they deliberately sent in a military unit to be butchered by their creations?
Not exactly. Although the conditions encountered on this operation were extreme, it was an unexpected outcome that the team would be wiped out. We were only required to collect live data from the subjects. Another mutant!
Once back in the graveyard, Jill runs into a familiar foe.
After killing the monster, Jill finds herself in the sewers and is able to head back to the park. After leaving the park, Miss Valentine has another encounter with a nemesis.
No!
Stars. Stars.
Rescuing you is becoming a full-time job.
Thanks, Carlos. I owe you.
Listen closely, Jill. They're going to launch a missile directly into the city as soon as day breaks.
At dawn? But that's only...
I know. We don't have much time left. We have to split up and find a way out of here. And hey, watch out for that traitor Nikolai.
After meeting up with Carlos, Jill continues moving through the plan until she gets...
Nikolai?
After the assailant disappears, Officer Valentine again runs into Nemesis. Once she finally defeats Nemesis, she does the best thing that she can and disposes of his body.
After dealing with the nemesis, Jill is once again attacked.
You're still alive. Such persistence.
Nikolai?
Sorry, but there's no escape from here.
After Nikolai has been dealt with, it is now finally time to escape the plant and hopefully Raccoon City. But for one final time, Nemesis attacks Officer Valentine.
Warning. Proceeding with operation in frequent room. Please evacuate immediately.
Stars. Stars. Stars.
Jill, having finally destroyed the nemesis once and for all, meets up with Carlos again on the empty helicopter pad.
Jill,
It's over, Carlos.
what are you talking about? Don't you hear that? There's a second chopper, and it's here to rescue you.
But who is it? Who could possibly be looking for me?
It doesn't matter. We just have to be there when it lands.
Thanks, you saved us.
I couldn't let you die.
Is it you?
Are you ready to finish this?
It's coming!
Yeah. It's the end.
That's it. Umbrella is going down.
It's pretty easy to see why this is a great game. Some of the things that we love the most is the innovation. The fact that you can fight optional bosses multiple times and get it to drop additional parts, additional weapons, and additional health. The great thing about this story, though, is that it's kind of choose your own adventure. You can choose what puzzles to tackle when, how to approach bosses, and how to escape bosses. And after completing the game multiple times, you then get rewarded with epilogues, which are pretty much additional information related to the Resident Evil series. And the best part is you get to see a continuation of a character from Case 001. Jill Valentine.
Things we did not enjoy about this game were the return of the tank controls. The length of the game was on the short side. Dodge mechanic is not always effective, is not easy to perform, and sometimes just doesn't trigger.
The level design of this game are incredibly well done. It is really great that you actually get to see more of Raccoon than any game previous. You get new locations, like the news station, a gas station, a clock tower, the park, a graveyard, and, who can forget, the RPD. The biggest issue that we had with the maps, though, is that several doors inside the RPD were blockaded, so you couldn't fully investigate the entire RPD.
Some of this game's enemies are familiar, such as Baby Spider, zombie dogs, crows, giant spiders, and of course zombies. But it also features a few new adversaries, such as the Brain Sucker, Drain Demos, the Gravedigger, Hunter Betas, Hunter Gammas, the Nemesis, Nikolai and Helicopter, and Sliding Worms.
The tank controls are back, just like they were in Resident Evil 1 and 2. But this time, they gave you a new mechanic, the dodge mechanic, and the quick turn. Both very innovative, both very intelligent.
Again, we ask what replay value Resident Evil 3 Nemesis has. And to be frank, it has quite a lot of replay value to it, such as unlocking alternative costumes, unlocking the mercenary mode, and unlocking each of the epilogue stories included in this game.
Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, even knowing it was an afterthought and was only created to keep Sony happy, was done so well by Capcom that they redid it with better graphics for the GameCube, and they redid it completely for current gen consoles.
The bros would give Resident Evil 3 Nemesis 3.5 thumbs up out of 5.
But that's just the opinion of the bros. So as always, thanks for playing with us.
Case closed. Now get the fuck out of my office.
Time to take the fucking hit!